It's 2020! Yes, it's been 20 years since the year 2000. Good God. But I thought this would be an excellent opportunity to do a quick tour of my office/studio. So, let's get cracking, shall we?
But let's do this properly. Let's go back a few years, back to when this channel began and the entire operation was stored in my house, in my bedroom. Most of the room was very literally a hoarder's paradise of vintage tech, just stuffed anywhere I could fit it, with one corner for my bed and another reserved for my desk and an area to edit whatever footage I could glean from this collection. Sometimes I'd tidy up and it would look a bit better for a while. Sometimes I'd add new shelves, but it was never really an ideal arrangement. But this is how Nostalgia Nerd got started. It's really the only way it could get started. The early days of YouTubing aren't usually easy or glamorous, that's for sure, but it served its purpose and I recorded many a video from here, including an early room tour.
Barcode Battler, the Quake Resurrection Pack, Clang, my Boglin, joystick for a PC there, Quickshot one. There's a Commodore 128 in that box behind there.
By mid-2017, I was able to afford a storage facility at one of those big and yellow storage places. It certainly freed up space in my room, but it wasn't really suitable for recording anything from, despite how much I tried to make it so. Plus, having to go back and forth between there and my house when I needed to get a certain mouse or piece of software was more hassle than it was worth. Luckily, I recorded some footage of this whole escapade, presumably to make a short video at the time, which I didn't do. Anyway, despite this, I was still working solely from the corner of my bedroom. But somehow, from that tiny corner, I managed to do well enough to source some proper office space. It was actually through a meeting with Did You Know Gaming at the Norwich Anime and Gaming Convention that I realised this could be a thing. They had found some cheap office space in a building that Ashens was already renting from, and so wheels were quickly put in motion. And here I was just a few months later. This video was taken about 4 months after moving in and emptying most of my attic and bedroom into it. This is where I'd really decided to fully concentrate on what I love doing, documenting retro tech, and so I had stopped accepting web development and SEO work, which I had relied on in an ever-diminishing amount beforehand. I mean, YouTubing is great as a hobby, but to really give it and your viewers the experience they deserve, you have to put a lot of time and effort into it. And in the world of capitalism, that means making it into a business.
So, I thought I'd give you a quick tour of the studio on my phone. This is the bit that you might be familiar with from videos. There's where I normally sit and work, there's the chair in the background, the standard Kallax IKEA arrangement that every office studio should have. There's some monitors dumped on some sort of IKEA metal jobby. Here's some PCs, there's some studio lighting. Over here are the shelves of glory. And these contain all sorts of wonders and things which I use for videos or want to use for videos. You know, I'm not like a normal collector where they have nice clean shelves with games all stacked in alphabetical order. This is just stuff chucked onto shelves that I like and I am planning to use. There's an apricot monitor, there's some apricots there, there's an Apple III down there, there's an Atari.
Now, it definitely helped that I had Patreon support at this point, but it also helped that Norwich office rent is quite a bit cheaper than many other parts of the country. But this still wasn't the ideal office space. As you can see, it was getting a bit filled up, even here, at around August 2018. Here's a clip I filmed just before moving out with the help of Octavius and her amazing camera work.
Hello everyone, welcome to my current office. I got this office sometime last year, largely thanks to patron supporters, to store all my crap. I'm currently sweating like some sort of French maid because it's boiling in here and I'm currently moving all this stuff out to a new office. So, along with some other guys who also happen to be in this office block, who are out here, go, this way.
Okay.
Go.
Hello.
Come out here. This way, look. This. So this guy is here. You may recognise him. He's coming with me, and if you come down this way, further, faster.
For fuck's sake.
Faster. Don't drop the camera.
I'm not going to drop the camera.
Okay. These people as well, here you may know. Yes. We are going to a new office space, which I will cut to shortly, and you can see how fabulous it is.
Cut!
Yes, Matt, Greg and Daz from Did You Know Gaming, Ashens and I, for a number of reasons, all decided we'd had enough of this office space and decided it would be cheaper and better if we could shack up together. I'll drop the links to their respective channels below, just in case you don't know who they are. I suspect you already do. Anyway, we viewed a few different locations, but one stood out, literally just around the corner. And here it is. Well, here's me setting things up and moving in. This is one larger building with several rooms, so we could each have our own office space, but still reap the benefits of our shared common business. Thankfully, my room was quite a bit larger than the previous space and had built-in storage, which was utterly essential. Of course, it still needed a few tweaks here and there, a few shelves needed putting up, and I spent many an hour deciding the most practical layout for work, storage and filming purposes. But a month or so after moving in, I released a Patreon-exclusive video of how things were looking. It's worth noting how much tidier it is here because retro collecting and kind donations means a lot less room.
So, here it is. This is the new office where I'll be making videos and recording stuff and, anything else, storing all my retro equipment and the like. Here is the main desk area. Over here is a slightly more exposed area with various boxes and monitors. We've got an Apple 3 monitor there. Down here is some boxes containing various cables and things and many other things. If we pan back to the office there is the main bulk of the office, and there's a Mega Drive with a Mega CD and various Amstrads.
So, here we are, just over a year later, and this is where I'm at. This is Nostalgia headquarters, if you like. This corner is where the office work gets done. I tend to do a fair amount of video editing at home, but when I'm in the office, this is the hub of the operation. And that noble chair, it's like a bed. I fully recommend them. There are some coat hooks to the right that I generally use to keep wires on, and then above that, these awesome IKEA shelves are amazing for displaying consoles and computers. I think that one was about £5. Some of my favourites up there. Whilst over here is the wall of Sinclair machines, interspersed with some canvas prints I had done at one of those printing places, Bonus Print or something. Below all that to the left is a JVC broadcast production monitor that serves as my main retro display. I got that for about £50 from eBay a few years back. And then to the right of that, these sweet desk shelves I got from Amazon a while back. I'm not sure if they still do them, but if they do, I'll put a link below because I always get asked about them. They're perfect for housing retro machines. I mean, we've got an Atari Falcon, VIC-20, Acorn Electron, Acorn Atom, Atari ST, Amiga 600, Super Nintendo, Sega Dreamcast, and finally an Amiga 500. What a nice space. Just to the left of that JVC is a pair of IKEA desks that I like to try and always keep clear. This is where the bulk of my filming takes place, and it's pretty handy having these two back to back so I can fit even the bulkiest of machines on. It's often surprising how much space you actually need when you're filming. And I say I like to keep those desks clear because, as you may have noticed, this office is pretty damn packed full of items. this is where my Tetris skills, or lack of, really come into play. I mean, just underneath those desks is chock-a-block with VTech computers, monitors, IBM PC compatibles, basically anything that's bulky and I can't fit elsewhere. This definitely isn't a minimalist look. To get that, I'd have to rent out some more storage, and that's just another cost and place to travel, which just isn't cheap or convenient. It's handy then that just to the left of these desks is a massive floor-to-ceiling cupboard. I've assigned the middle door my sticker area. Who have we got here? We've got a couple of my stickers, a signed Patreon disc from LGR, the Retro Future, Aravel, Octavius, Numbskull Designs, an awesome hand-drawn postcard from one of my patrons, Vocabra. I mean, this place has at least a 3-year lease on it, so I plan to have this filled so much that it makes it a real mission for me to remove when I move out. So if you've got a spare sticker, you know where to send it. Alright, left cupboard, what's in here? Well, apart from the water bowl at the top, keeping a small roof leak at bay, there's another Amiga 500, an Amstrad 464 Plus, some boxes and CDI consoles, an Amstrad 464 monitor, and a few PCs at the bottom, amongst others. The other end of this cupboard holds similar treasures. We've got a Tiger Star Trek game, a 3D scanner from the 90s, which I'll review soon, the almighty Interactor cushion that I reviewed a while back, an Amstrad PCW down the bottom. There's loads in here, I don't even know anymore, I need to go through it. The middle door has some serious issues with its sliding, but also contains a crapload of boxed machines, some unboxed machines, stacks of cassettes, a nice assortment of PCs and monitors. I mean, there's enough material here to last me for years alone. It's not really an organised or logical collection, nor is it a kind of hoarder's free-for-all. It's more things which I've decided will make interesting YouTube videos at some point in the future, and I've bought them when I found them cheap. You know, odd hardware, interesting software, curious toys from the 80s, it's all here, and hopefully will appear on the channel or my extra channel at some point in the future. Right, over to the first Kallax unit. Now, this is what I like to call a gathering of glorious items. No kind of order here, just an entire shelf of boxes or things that I like, including that amazing European NES box, the Master System 2 box, the Amiga 1200 Magic Pack that any sane person wanted in the mid-90s, along with various figures, including the incredibly subtle, luminous Robocop. Nice, you wouldn't see him coming if you were doing a crime, would you? The next shelf down is similar, with added Hasbro wrestling figures, and then behind the LED studio lights, which I've only just bought, as the old lights took up too much space, we've got a crap ton of green storage boxes, which were at one point organised by system, but due to frantic searching and packing away, there isn't as much order now as I'd like. But essentially, this is where power supplies, wires, and accessories for all manner of systems are stored. Then, just in front of that, well, first we have Yuji Naka. This is from my Sega lock-on fight with him on Digitizer. I'll pop a link below if you really want to see that. Anyway, this is where the piles begin, both in a medical context and physical manifestation. I mean, this is enough to give you piles, surely. Behind this pile of gubbins is actually a Bang & Olufsen BioVision 1 television, which is truly excellent for retro gaming. For one, it obviously has a SCART connector, but it also has one of the clearest pictures you can imagine. You might expect that given it was several £1,000s originally to buy, but this little beauty only sent me back about £50 a year ago, so it was a positive bargain. But to the right of that pile is another Kallax unit, which houses, all sorts. On top I've got a TV Teddy, a couple of Amstrad Mega PC monitors which are pretty hard to acquire, along with the BBC Bridge Companion, and lots of other important things. The shelves below are mainly for boxed game storage. On the left I've got PC games, obviously including the Descent trilogy, but also these shelves are double deep, so we've got Alone in the Dark behind that, and all manner of other games. The further right you go on these shelves, the more we turn to Amiga and even Spectrum big box games. But as you can see, blocking my way is another pile of stuff. The thing is, because I cover so many different systems and subjects, I can't sell a lot of this stuff, as the moment I do, I always need it to make a quick scene or technical component of a new video. I've learnt that the hard way far too many times, where I've sold retro machines or software and then been unable to buy them back as the price has tripled in the couple of years since. But I'm reopening my eBay shop to sell things I'm fairly sure I don't need again. Link below if you want to follow it for updates. You can see a whiteboard peeking out from behind that apricot monitor and stack of various oddities. I mean, we've got a Performer steering wheel, a Tomitronic 3D, lots of stuff that I really need to organise into distinct sections. I'll get round to that eventually, but you know, at least there's still room to move about. Check out near the door, PC Golf. That will be in a video very soon. We're talking essential accessories here. But to the right is another couple of shelf towers, filled with all sorts of different items. At the top is a Manta Force ship, I bloody love Manta Force. My friend Michael had most of the collection and we'd spend ages playing with it. There's also that blooming Sonic Mania Collector's Edition, and the least said about that the better. Mainly there's just games on the shelves below, PC dual case games, Master System games, Spectrum games, my duck mock-up from Numbskull Designs, basically anything small that doesn't have a home I try and fit in here, but you know, I really quite like this hoarded, packed feel. It's comfy and homely. You know, minimalism doesn't really mesh well with this hobby or career path. Look, there's a Tyco video camera below that desk. Nice. Okay, let's take a quick closer look at these shelves. There's a recent acquisition, FIFA Soccer for the Master System. Oh yes, there will be a video on that soon. Because, you know, if I'm going to make a video on something, I really prefer to have the physical item. I think it gives a certain legitimacy to what you're doing. I could easily make a video about it using an emulator and just include downloads of box art, but that's not the same, it feels like cheating. In my mind, it's worth paying 80 quid or so to get the game imported and make a proper feature, a proper presentation. It's the same with all this stuff. I want to make a video about these crappy Tomy handheld games. These were Tomy's answer to the Game Boy, but I really need to get them all before delving down that road. Otherwise, it's just an incomplete story, no matter how utterly crap the source material is. Let's take a pan around these desks though, see what else I've got tucked away. You know, some of this might seem random, but take those LC20 star printers, they're an essential piece of the 90s. Every magazine I read had adverts for these budget printers, so we definitely need to dive into their history sometime. Same for all of these VTech machines. That's a video I plan on doing soon, mainly because they're just so interesting, trying to be more than what they were. I love that kind of underdog push for something greater. Anyway, that's really the main office, but there are other things to show you. Let's exit through... yeah, let's go for the door. And we find ourselves in the entrance of treasure. Again, this is stuff that couldn't fit in my actual office, but it's utterly essential. First up, this huge poster of teletext art by the amazing Horsenberger. I'm on there somewhere, but I'm distracted by this horrific robot from the 90s. And again, more items of beauty. Look, there's a James Bond ZX Spectrum, which I've got a video lined up for, and just below that, a stereo system with a built-in TV. I love that aesthetic. Let's go for a wander to what used to be the reception area. Maybe we'll get some more light in here. Now, this building used to be home to an accountant's, and this is the former reception desk. Currently, it's housing a lot of my retro PC equipment. The idea, once I've found proper homes for most of this, will be to have a LAN PC area here, perfect for death matches of Doom, Duke Nukem 3D, and even Quake. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, also there's a few boxes of VHS tapes I grabbed off someone locally, with hours and hours of pre-recorded 80s and 90s TV, but also some incredible viewing such as Blood Tracks and, well, other tapes which may or may not be burnt depending on the specific content. To the side of reception we have a small room that's mainly used by Did You Know Gaming for voiceover purposes. Yeah, here we have a custom built sound box providing tremendous acoustics.
Hello. No echo. Nice and quiet.
Although it does get a bit warm in here in the summer, and it doesn't really fit with my style of voiceover recording and editing. I like to kind of update the script on the fly, so I tend to just record mine at home. Back through reception, oh look, there's a nice stack of books there, including Steve McNeil's Hey Listen. I recommend reading that. To the right we have the main hallway, which leads to the smallest kitchen known to man. You really can't fit more than one person at a time in here, and even one person is a bit of a push, but it does contain possibly the best mug I've ever seen. Property of Stuart Ashen. Back out of the kitchen, there are toilets to the right, and then behind them down a small corridor, the games room, with a terrifying mannequin in the middle. You can tell that Ashens has been here. Now this is really a collection of games and consoles owned either by myself, Ashens, or the boys from Did You Know Gaming, and it's really just to provide a lounge type area for chilling out, low-key filming and even live streams. I use it occasionally if I want to record some casual console gaming, but other than that it's used for eating pizza and looking at consoles such as the Amiga CD32 and anything else that will happily reside in another IKEA Kallax. Seriously, IKEA must have made a mint from retro gamers alone. It's probably what their business model is built around. Okay, more to see, more to do. Now this building was actually built in the 16th century, hence these windows and wooden beam style supports. I really like it, it's very Norwich in feel. If you've ever been to Norwich, you'll know what I mean. If we wind down this anti-clockwise style staircase, which is always good for right-hand sword swinging, an absolute staple for castle defence, we get a full-size arcade cabinet. Oh yes, look at this beast. It says Neo Geo at the top, but Mr. Ashen has housed a PC within with all manner of emulated arcade games. It's a shame it's stuck down here, but then it literally doesn't go up the stairwell. Anyway, let's get back to the main deck and check out this Oatly carton, and then maybe go up these stairs, where we find more offices. To our immediate right is the office of Ashens. He's not here, so I won't take you fully in and invade his space, but as you can see, it's very Asheny. Opposite that is another office space that he uses to house Atari STs and Amigas and all things nice. It's like a treat for all 5 of your senses, including smell, as this building is pretty old, as is some of the food that Stuart keeps in here. I'm sure there's a 35-year can of hoops festering somewhere. Also, I often wonder how many people have died in here. I mean, this place is old, and it used to be a pub and hotel, all sorts of things years ago. Further down this corridor we find the last, but certainly not least office, of Did You Know Gaming.
This is Did You Know Gaming. Hi everyone.
How's it going?
Good. Hard at work.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's how we always greet each other. Glorious. Okay, back across the landing, back down the stairs, and back to my office, which clearly looks very different to Did You Know Gaming's. I mean, the contrast in stuff is staggering when I think about it. This is a collection I've built up over the past 10 years or so, and most of it is because of my channel. So I really have to thank you viewers for allowing me to do this, to do what I love doing, for allowing me to get where I am today, and for allowing me to have all this awesome stuff. You know, I tend to think of this as more our stuff than my stuff we can share and revel in through videos and get excited about. I've got to give a big thanks to my Patreons as well, who really allowed me to even get an office space in the first place. Despite the low cost available in Norwich, it would be a pretty tight squeeze without them. But really, I've got enough stuff to be going on with for now. I mean, look at all this. So this year, most of the money from ad revenue, Patreon or sponsors will be going back into video production. You know, new camera equipment, new software, outsourcing parts of production to animators and the like. Really, I hope to create some tremendous and better content throughout 2020. So thanks for being here already, but stay tuned and see what this channel will bring. I'm also planning some more live streams, both Twitch and YouTube, from my office this year, so watch out on social media channels for that. Twitter, Facebook and Instagram are the main ones I use. But anyway, thanks for watching this tour video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching, and have a great evening.